Have you ever noticed something strange? You work hard for weeks, maybe even months. You build momentum. Things finally start going well. People begin to notice your progress. And then, you stop. You procrastinate. You make a careless mistake. You quit. Almost as if some invisible force inside you refuses to let you succeed. The strange part? Most people believe they're afraid of failure. But psychologists have discovered something far more disturbing. Many people are actually afraid of success. Not consciously. Deep beneath awareness. Today, we're going to explore one of the most dangerous psychological traps, self-sabotage, the hidden force that quietly destroys dreams before they become reality. Imagine two people standing at the bottom of a mountain. Both want to reach the top. Both have the strength. Both know the path. One climbs steadily. The other keeps stopping. He checks his phone. He takes unnecessary breaks. He convinces himself that tomorrow will be better. Eventually, he walks back down the mountain. From the outside, it looks like laziness. But inside his mind, something much darker is happening. Self-sabotage is not a lack of discipline. It is your brain trying to protect you. Yes. Protect you. Because your brain has one primary job. Not to make you happy. Not to make you successful. Its first priority is survival. Anything unfamiliar, even if it's positive, can feel dangerous. Think about it. If you've spent years believing you're not good enough, success creates a painful contradiction. Your identity says, I'm average. Reality suddenly says, you're exceptional. Your brain hates contradictions. So instead of changing your identity, it changes your behavior. You sabotage yourself until reality matches the old story again. The mind would rather live in familiar pain than unfamiliar happiness. This is why people who desperately want success often destroy the opportunities they prayed for. A promotion. A relationship. A business. A creative project. Everything goes well. Until it doesn't. Because success brings responsibility. Visibility. Expectations. And expectations are terrifying. If no one expects anything from you, you can't disappoint anyone. But once people believe in you, now you have something to lose. For many people, failure feels safer than proving they were never as capable as others believed. Psychologists call this the imposter phenomenon. Millions of successful people secretly believe they don't deserve what they've achieved. They think they've fooled everyone. That one day someone will expose them. Even Nobel Prize winners. CEOs. Actors. Scientists. Many quietly believe they are frauds. Imagine carrying that burden every day. No wonder people sabotage themselves before someone else can reject them. If you fail on purpose, at least the failure was under your control. But self-sabotage starts much earlier. Usually in childhood. Maybe you were praised only when you achieved something. So your brain learned. My value depends on performance. Or maybe every mistake brought criticism. Now perfection becomes your survival strategy. Ironically, perfectionism often creates procrastination. If something can't be perfect, why even start? This explains why highly intelligent people sometimes accomplish less than people with average ability. Because intelligence isn't the problem. Fear is. Fear wears many disguises. Sometimes it looks like procrastination. Sometimes it looks like overthinking. Sometimes it looks like endlessly preparing without ever taking action. You tell yourself you're waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect equipment. The perfect plan. The perfect opportunity. But perfection is simply fear dressed in expensive clothes. Here's an uncomfortable truth. Every excuse has a hidden emotional reward. Think about procrastination. On the surface, it creates stress. But underneath, it protects you from judgment. If you never finish your project, nobody can criticize it. If you never ask someone out, nobody can reject you. If you never launch your business, nobody can watch it fail. The unfinished dream stays perfect forever. Reality can never compete with imagination. This is why some people spend years planning instead of living. They mistake preparation for progress. But movement isn't the same as growth. A hamster runs all day, yet never leaves the wheel. There's another invisible prison called the comfort zone. Most people think comfort zones are comfortable. They're not. They're predictable. There's a huge difference. People stay in unhappy jobs, unhealthy relationships, unfulfilling lives. Not because they're happy. Because they're familiar. The human brain often chooses familiar suffering over unfamiliar freedom. That's how powerful conditioning can become. One fascinating experiment illustrates this perfectly. Researchers placed fleas inside a jar. When the lid was closed, the fleas repeatedly jumped into it. Eventually, they learned not to jump that high. Later, the lid was removed. The fleas were completely free. Yet none of them escaped. Not because they couldn't. Because they believed they couldn't. Humans often live exactly the same way. The limits disappear. But the beliefs remain. Think about the stories you tell yourself every day. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm not talented. I'm unlucky. I'm not attractive enough. I'm not smart enough. Eventually, these thoughts stop feeling like opinions. They become identity. And identity controls behavior. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your self-image. So, how do you escape? The answer surprises most people. You don't fight your thoughts. You question them. When your mind says, I can't do this. Ask. Who told me that? When your mind says, I'll probably fail. Ask. Where is the evidence? Most limiting beliefs collapse under honest examination. Because they were never facts. They were conclusions. And conclusions can change. Another powerful technique comes from behavioral psychology. Don't wait until you feel confident. Act first. Confidence follows action. Not the other way around. Most people believe successful people feel fearless. They don't. They simply move while afraid. Every action sends your brain new evidence. I survived. I handled it. I'm more capable than I thought. Little by little, your identity begins to evolve. Remember this. Your brain updates itself through experiences. Not motivational speeches. Not positive thinking. Not watching endless self-improvement videos. Action changes identity. Repeated action changes destiny. There is also something called the upper limit problem. The psychologist Gay Hendricks described how people unconsciously sabotage themselves after reaching a certain level of happiness or success. It's almost like having an internal thermostat. If life becomes too good, your subconscious tries to return everything to what's familiar. Maybe you've experienced this. You finally find a healthy relationship. Then start unnecessary arguments. You reach a fitness goal. Then stop exercising. You save money. Then make impulsive purchases. The pattern repeats because your subconscious has decided what feels normal. Until you redefine normal, the cycle continues. Here's the most important realization. You are not fighting the world. You are fighting an outdated version of yourself. The child who feared rejection. The teenager who doubted their worth. The younger version of you that created beliefs to survive difficult moments. Those beliefs once protected you. But protection has become a prison. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack. At first, it contains useful supplies. Water. Food. Tools. But over the years, people keep adding rocks. Criticism. Failure. Embarrassment. Fear. Eventually, the backpack becomes so heavy that you believe life itself is exhausting. The truth is, life isn't weighing you down. The backpack is. And unlike gravity, beliefs can be removed. One by one. Growth isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before fear convinced you otherwise. Before comparison. Before criticism. Before self-doubt became your inner voice. The strongest prison has no walls. No bars. No locks. Only beliefs. So the next time you catch yourself procrastinating, ask yourself one question. Am I avoiding failure, or am I avoiding the person I might become if I actually succeed? Because sometimes, the life you've always wanted is waiting on the other side of the story you've been telling yourself. And maybe, the only thing standing between you and your future is a version of yourself that's afraid to let go of the past. The prison door has been unlocked all along. The question is, will you finally choose to walk through it?